So we're into the semi-finals in China, and in Shanghai we have Novak Djokovic. He's up against Vacherot, and we've got Daniil Medvedev. The Mad Dog is back, and he is up against the cousin of Vacherot. It's Artur, Rinderknech. And on the women's, we've got Sabalenka. She's going for number 4 in a row in Wuhan. And there is no Iga because she's been knocked out by Jasmine Paolini. We got Paolini Goff. We got Sabalenka Pegula. This is the semi-final preview, so let's get stuck into it. Boom, here we go. Semi-finals in China. And we're going to start off with the men's in Shanghai. And what a place we can start. And it is sort of the fairy tale story of Shanghai. It is, of course, 30-year-old Artur Rinderknech, and he continues his incredible run in Shanghai. Defeated Felix Auger-Aliassime, the number 13 seed, 6-3, 6-4 to reach the biggest semi-final of his life. And he joins his cousin, Valentin Vacherot, who was in his box in the last 4. So a family final is still possible. Will it happen, though? He showed great composure, and Felix didn't really like what was coming from the other end of the call. He had no answers for Rinderknech, and he is one match away from a first Masters final. And what end to the year it would be if he could do so. But he's up against somebody who's so tough, as we know. And it is the new, or say renewed, Daniil Medvedev. He defeated Alex de Minaur 6-4, 6-4. And yeah, it looked like the Medvedev of old a little bit returned. And some of the shots that he was pulling off, I hold my hands up. I said I thought de Minaur was going to beat him. But there's just big match mentality with certain players. I don't think de Minaur quite has it yet. Even though he has a lot of shot variety, he's even improved the power. The big moments in this match were decided by who was able to hold their nerve. And Daniil Medvedev definitely held his nerve. He hit massive winners from great counter-punching shots. It was incredible, and Medvedev was just really happy. He looked like he might be struggling halfway through the second set with the body giving up on him again. So probably lucky that he got it done in 2 sets, but there you go. He's probably learning his lesson. He's a bit more aggressive, and he saw the match out well. Alex de Minaur is going to be bitterly disappointed. I think Medvedev was probably there for the taking. If you had a little bit more about you, you might have been able to have got it over the line. But you saw what Lerner Tien did to him, and Lerner Tien still wasn't able to beat him in this tournament. Medvedev definitely coming back to a bit of form, and it's lovely to see. And less than 1% of the matches finish with all 4 shot qualities higher than 8. And Daniil Medvedev, he has that. Serve 8.1, return 9.0, forehand 8.3, backhand 8.3. They definitely were all firing very, very well. And I really enjoyed seeing him become a bit more aggressive. I think that's what he's been lacking. And that's what's really got him into trouble. He's always chasing balls down, but he very rarely is the aggressor. And if he wants to avoid all these cramps and wants to avoid these long matches, he needs to start finishing the rallies, and he's been doing so. I was impressed. I think that he really does fire some of those forehands just close to the baseline, and even some of the backhands that he was hitting, they were pretty close to the lines as well. Definitely some improvements. And he's got to play Artur Rinderknech now in the semi-final. A bit of an unknown entity, because obviously Rinderknech is not really, I mean, he's been around for a bit of time, obviously 30 years old, but he's not really been this player. They played once before, but this was back in 2022 at the US Open, and Daniil Medvedev won in straight sets, but there's no surprise there because that was back in Medvedev's peak, I would say. So I'll get to some predictions in a second on that. But well done to both players getting to the semis. Got to speak about Rinderknech, his cousin. Incredible. He's through to the semi-finals as well. Someone no one would have thought would have got there. And he outlasted Holger Rune in a 3-set thriller. He lost the first set, won the second on a tiebreak, and it was 6-4 in the third. But Holger Rune, his body, another person, just gave up on him. He could barely walk come the end of that match, and wasn't able. I was surprised he was able to still hit some winners, to be honest. He was impressive, but all you got to do is make him move, and he had literally zero movement. He was hobbling around the back of the court, and you can't win a tennis match like that. And Vacherot took full advantage. Fair play to him. I'm excited to see what he's able to provide in the semi-final. I mean, arguably the biggest test in tennis, coming up against Novak Djokovic in a semi-final of a Masters, a man who has 40 to his name. And he got through Zizou Berg's 6-3, 7-5, 1 hour, 50 minutes. I thought it was an entertaining match. Zizou Bergs was really trying to get the crowd going a bit. And he hit 25 winners. Djokovic only 11. But then you see very, very fewer unforced errors with 16 to Bergs' 40. So, I mean, you got to weigh it up. I don't think it's an A-grade performance this tournament, but it's enough. And that's what we're witnessing right now. Djokovic, he is in the twilight of the career, but he is still able to beat a lot of these players. And this one, I'm sure he's happy it didn't go to 3 again. And he didn't throw up on the court as well. So small wins, I think, for Novak Djokovic right now. And he will now face Vacherot in the final, in the semi-final, sorry, not the final. I'll be interested to know if they've played each other before. I haven't even had a look at this beforehand, but I will look at it now. No, they have not. There you go. That's why. So a first-time meeting between the two. Vacherot got nothing to lose. The biggest match of his life. The only thing that you'd be a bit concerned about is when they come up against Novak Djokovic. It's sort of one of those moments like Zizou Bergs had. He said, I've got to stop idolizing you. That's the problem. You're playing against the greatest to ever do it. And that in itself is just a big moment in your life, just being on the court with Djokovic, because that's something you'll remember for the rest of your days. And Novak Djokovic, yeah, he's going to be looking to get to this Masters final. Who will get there, though? So, I mean, I personally think the way that this one's going to go, Novak Djokovic, he's going to be very, very focused. I think Vacherot, he's going to give it a good go, but I do think it's going to be Djokovic in 2 close sets. I don't think there's going to be an embarrassing scoreline here, because I think Vacherot's proven that he can hang with some of these players in these conditions as well. But I think Djokovic being down the other end of the court, the moment of the semi-final, that's going to be too much. And I think Djokovic will win this in straight sets. And then going to the other one, I think this is slightly more difficult to call, to be honest. I've been impressed with what I've seen from both of these players. Daniil Medvedev, he has really turned a corner. Really positive. The fact he got that revenge over Lerner Tien by beating him this time, I think that was big for his mental. But Rinderknech, I mean, he took out Zverev in this tournament, and he's on a little bit of a run, to be honest. Beat Lehechka, beat Felix, beating some great players. Can he beat Medvedev? I think this is guaranteed to be a 3-setter for some reason. And I don't think that's going to help Daniil Medvedev. Really, really, really tough on this. There's part of me that's wanting to go. I would like to see Djokovic Medvedev in the final, to be honest. But there's something that tells me Rinderknech could throw a spanner in the works right now. I think I'm going to go for it. I think it'll be 3 sets, and I think Rinderknech will outlast Daniil Medvedev. Tell me if you think I'm crazy in that comment section, please. But I think I've been put under the spell of Rinderknech. I don't know what's happened. I didn't expect myself to be picking that, but there you go. In the moment, it has happened. Moving over to the women's, and Another wrong prediction that myself and JG both had from last night. And we both thought Rebecca might be able to get one over on Sabalenka and end her amazing run. Not to be the case, and it was convincing, the victory as well. Rebecca put up a fight for the first set, and the second set, even though 6-3, it wasn't that competitive. And Sabalenka dominated 6-3, 6-3, 20 wins, no losses, and she's never lost in Wuhan. And this is potentially going to be her fourth ever title if she wins it, into her fourth Wuhan semi-final. She does not lose at this event. 11th semi-final of the year, 9th consecutive win, 59th win of 2025. The Queen of Wuhan. She rules with the iron fist, as it says there. Pretty impressive. And she goes down in a list of players who have fantastic winning runs at tournaments. We've got Sabalenka 20-0 in Wuhan, Caroline Wozniacki in New Haven 20-0, Steffi Graf in Leipzig at 25-0, and Monica Seles at the Australian Open 33-0. That is domination. What a great list to be a part of there for her. And she's up against somebody tough. There's no there or thereabouts. Someone who's had to go through the ringer a bit in her matches, though, and it is none other than Jess Pegula, who has now qualified for Riad, and she's heading to the WTA finals for the fourth year in a row. She dropped the first set against Siniakova, but came through strong, a very, very strong second set, especially. She bageled her, and then the final set, it was 6-3. Impressive. And now she has won 50 WTA Tour type. She's now won 50 WTA Tour matches in 2025, and there is only Iga and Sabalenka who have won more. It's going to be very, very interesting to see how that match goes. Pegula, can she get one over on Sabalenka? It's going to be tough, but is it possible? On the other side of the draw, well, Iga is out, and Jasmine Paolini storms to victory. She hasn't ever beaten Iga before, and I never saw this one coming. I thought Iga wasn't playing that great in this tournament, but she was getting the victories. I said against Bencic, she looked a bit vulnerable, but I still thought it would be enough to get past Paolini, who's never really troubled her. But it just goes to show Jasmine Paolini, she is on fire right now, and she seems to love a Masters event as well. And she beat a 6-1, 6-2. There was just something about Paolini, the never say die attitude, the way that she was hitting the ball a lot cleaner than Iga was hitting it. Too many unforced errors from Iga. For me, I'm not sure what is happening with the backhand of Iga at the moment. She hooks it far too often wide, and maybe it's foot positioning. Maybe there's just something else going wrong with the technique. But I noticed it a lot against Bencic, and it seemed to be the same again against Paolini. But just all credit to Paolini, just the strongest of performances. And that puts her in great stead now, because not only that, she's now going to be up against Coco Gauff. And Coco Gauff is somebody slightly easier route, but she's been winning impressively as well. Laura Siegmund, it may sound like not as big a name, but she's been playing very well. And Coco Gauff beat a 6-3, 6-love. That's right. That was a bit of a beat down, that second set. The first set was pretty competitive. I quite liked it. And I thought Siegmund gave as good as she got. But Coco Gauff just proving she was able to serve her way out of some of these positions. The problem's been her second serve in a lot of the past matches, but in this match, she didn't have to rely on it too much. And you see, like it says here, with almost half of the points lasting 6 to 9 shots, that was to her advantage. She really dominated in those style of rallies, and now she faces Jasmine Paolini in the semi-finals. Here we go. So maybe we'll start there first. That's probably, I'd say, the closer one to try and predict. We've got Paolini, who's just dominated Iga. Obviously, Coco Gauff, somebody who did have an amazing result against Iga earlier in the year on the clay as well. So it is difficult to pick. These two, it's a 3-2 head-to-head in favor of Jasmine Paolini. Last time they played was in Cincinnati, and it was Paolini who was the victor in 3 sets. And then they played in Rome before that, and Paolini won that in straight sets. Then they played before that in Stuttgart. Paolini won that in straight sets. And before that, Goff won the last 2. So the 3 times they played this year, Jasmine Paolini has been the victor. And I think she's going to be the victor again. She has looked convincing. I think that this could be straight sets again as well. I'm going Paolini in straight sets. Let me know if you agree in that comment section below. And over to the other semi-final, which is Sabalenka versus Pegula. Let me just have a look at the head-to-head on this one as well. And this one is 8-2 in favor of Sabalenka. And that is not a good statistic if you are Jess Pegula. She has been beaten by her twice this year. Obviously, US Open being one in the semi-finals, Miami final, US Open last year as well in the final of Cincinnati last year. And in the WTA finals, Jess Pegula beat her in 2023, sorry. So there you go. Sabalenka been dominant in the last 4 matches, and I think it will continue. I'm going to be having Sabalenka to win this one in straight sets. So there are my predictions. Tell me yours in that comment section below. Do you have the same as me? Is it Paolini Sabalenka in the final, or do you have someone different? And tell me your men's predictions as well. And if you haven't done so yet, give us a like, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.